As the door to his office closed behind Sophia, Dr. William sat in silence, his gaze fixed on the closed door. His office, once filled with Sophia's palpable despair, now lay quiet, with only the tick-tock of the wall clock punctuating the silence. Sophia's vulnerability had stirred a certain level of discomfort within him, a prickling sense of guilt for what he was about to subject her to. But this was quickly overshadowed by the compelling allure of what this opportunity could mean for his research, a rare chance to delve into the depths of trauma, induced insomnia, to understand its nuances and effects, and possibly to make a groundbreaking discovery. He spun slowly in his chair, his gaze drifting to the window, where the dimming evening light filtered in through the blinds. If only ethical conundrums were as black and white as day and night, he muttered to himself, a wry smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. Yet his determination to venture into this gray area remained unscathed. A breakthrough in his research would not just signify personal success. It could potentially change lives, helping those caught in the relentless grip of their traumas find solace. It was a path fraught with risks, but one he was willing to take. Dr. William finally turned back to his desk, his gaze falling on Sophia's file. He opened it, scanning through the notes he had made during their conversation. Each word, each confession of her guilt and fear only made his resolve stronger. His fingers danced on the keyboard as he began to detail the specific steps for the upcoming study. The plan was bold, risk-laden, and pushed the boundaries of ethical conduct. But it was potentially revolutionary. Pausing for a moment, Dr. William looked at the final protocol for the study on his screen. There was still time to back out, to choose a safer route. Yet he knew that if he didn't seize this opportunity, he'd always be left wondering, what if? His fingers hovered over the keyboard before he pressed the Enter key, submitting the final plan. The deed was done, his course set. Now, all he could do was wait and see what this dangerous path would yield. "Let the game begin," Dr. William murmured, his eyes gleaming with a mix of apprehension and anticipation. This was a gamble, one that could either propel him to unprecedented heights or plunge him into the abyss. He just hoped that Sophia would emerge unscathed on the other side. The silence of the evening was shattered by the sudden shrill ringing of Dr. William's phone. He looked at the caller ID, his heart pounding in his chest. It was the medical lab he had partnered with for the sleep study. "Dr. William," the voice on the other end greeted. "Great," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. "And the equipment? Is it ready?" "Yes, it is. We'll start the setup tomorrow." "Thank you. Keep me updated." As he ended the call, he couldn't help but feel a rush of adrenaline. The wheels were in motion, and there was no turning back now. Yet, he couldn't shake off the undercurrent of unease. The stakes were high, not just for him, but also for Sophia. Back at her home, Sophia lay on her couch, her mind in turmoil. The images of Aaron, Ron, and the tragic ending played in a loop, tormenting her. A sense of dread gnawed at her as she thought about the sleep study. Would she finally find peace, or would she be thrust deeper into her nightmares? Meanwhile, Detective Essen was poring over Sophia's case file, his brow furrowed in concentration. Despite Sophia's confession and subsequent arrest, there were still many loose ends that needed to be tied up. He knew there was more to the story, more to Sophia, and he was determined to uncover it all. As the clock struck midnight, each character in this tangled web was battling their own demons. They were on the cusp of new discoveries, of drastic changes. But what these changes would bring, they couldn't tell. The future was uncertain, their paths unclear. All they could do was brace themselves for the storm that was about to hit.